I'm your host, John Kramer, and you're watching The Star Wars Generation, where a vintage Star Wars fan talks vintage Star Wars. Now, I haven't put out a video in probably over a year, but it's now a new year, and I'm turning over a new leaf, so here we go. And also, I've got something to talk about, because there's been a lot of hype lately about the Darth Vader comic, issue number 25. Now, I haven't collected comic books in probably 25 years. And, I've maybe occasionally bought some back issue on eBay, but I haven't bought a new comic in decades. But because of all the hype regarding this issue number 25, I went out and I bought it. So all the hype seems to be about a possible past of Anakin Skywalker, where we see that Palpatine may be his father, or that Palpatine may have at least, been the Force user who triggered the midichlorians to allow for an immaculate conception. So the hype seems to be around this particular frame here, where you can kind of see a ghostly image of Palpatine as he's standing behind Shmi Skywalker and, allowing for the pregnancy to occur. And also, for some reason, on the following page, there seems to be this hype about, where Anakin sees his shadow, when they're making the big deal of, the episode 1 poster is canon. The episode 1 poster always was canon, because it's a poster advertising canon. But anyway, enough about that. Now, before I go on and talk about Vader and Palpatine, I actually want to go back in time 30 years to when I actually did collect comic books. And here I have, from 1988, the graphic novel, The Killing Joke. Now, The Killing Joke is, like this comic, a possible past. And is a possible past about the origin of the Joker. And it's actually a loose retelling of a comic from 1951, Detective Comics number 168, The Man Behind the Red Hood. And this possible past of his origin is one that we're relatively familiar with, which is that, a man, because of Batman, falls into toxic waste and becomes the Joker. But at the end of The Killing Joke, in the last few pages, Batman and Joker are having a conversation. And in it, the Joker, in referring to his possible past, says, what is it with you? What made you what you are? Girlfriend killed by the mob, maybe? Brother carved up by some mugger? Something like that, I bet. Something like that. Something like that happened to me, I'm not exactly sure what it was. Sometimes I remember one way, sometimes another. If I'm going to have a past, I prefer to have it be multiple choice. Ha ha ha! So now what we can see here is that this is only a possible past. We don't know if it is the real past. The Joker himself says, sometimes I remember it differently. So if we apply this same concept to issue number 25 of Darth Vader, we find that this is nothing more than just a possible past. And I'll explain why. Because if you get further into the comic book, we can see that Anakin confronts the Jedi Council. Now, I don't follow the new books and the new TV shows and such, so pardon me while I totally slaughter the names of the Jedi Council. Now, obviously, there's Mace Windu, and I know we've probably got the Jedi Librarian over here. And then we've got, is Shakti, is that how you pronounce it? And then we've got Bilaba, I don't know. And then you've got Yara El Poof. And then how do you pronounce this? Saucy Tin, Siamese twin, I'm not really sure. You've got Plo Koon. And then over here in the corner, you've got the female Yoda, known as Yaddle. And then in the opposite corner, you have Yoda. So in the pages that follow, you see Anakin take on the Jedi Council. And in this frame right here, you can see Anakin kill Yaddle. And in this frame here, you can then see him confront Yoda. You then see Yoda attack, and you then see Anakin kill Yoda. Now, if we're talking canon, then we all know that Yoda doesn't die until Return of the Jedi. So this shows us that this possible past has now become an impossible past. Now, I can't go through here and say that Palpatine is not Vader's father, because I don't have enough information or enough evidence to say that. But one thing I can tell you is that issue number 25 is not evidence that Palpatine is Vader's father. So let's pretend like this is a He-Man episode. And let's say that at the end we have to have some moral to this story. So now my patronizing moral to this story would simply be, pay attention to detail. Question your source. Check your source. Verify the source. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Because what they've done here is they just took a small snippet of something much bigger. And they're trying to prove a point and claiming that as evidence when obviously it's not evidence. So, if you're someone who wants to pay attention to detail, if you're someone who wants to learn the source, if you're someone who wants to talk Star Wars with a real Star Wars fan, then click the subscribe button. So until next time, which hopefully is much sooner than later, good night, good luck, and may the Force be with you.